Awesome. Okay, so live at 5. It's Friday afternoon here where I am. So we are relaxing into the weekend and having some fun. Just a little creative stamping session to unwind and slide into the weekend. Alrighty, and today's project, we will use the Springtime Scenes bundle from Stampin' Up. You know that I love my Stampin' Up stuff. So this one features gorgeous little leafy elements, this cute little ladybug and some sentiments, and has a coordinating die set, which is just, it really is very cool. It has frames which match some of the stamped images, making it really easy to stamp and die cut. And then you've got some other dies in there that layer up, so you can create two-tone image like elements to go on your projects. And you can also create a ladybug, which is like a builder, so you can make it out of cardstock, which is really cool, and we'll be doing that today. But the star of the show on this die set are really these three huge circles, and I need to show you them because they are just gorgeous. Have a look at those. They are whoppers. Look at that. They are really big statement pieces. They're just gorgeous. So these are the ones that I was talking about before, which show you the two dies that work together to create one element, and you can have a lighter image with a darker outliney style over the top. So yeah, lots of fun to get busy with there. Now this bundle in Australian dollars is $92.50. So yeah, it's over. You can head over to my store and purchase those ones if you like, and then you can craft along with this video later. But this just shows you how big they are. They're like the size of my palm. So just gorgeous. And it's just, this is that leafy one. I love this one. So nice. And the circle one is really cool because, you know, one pass through the die cutting machine gives you two elements to work with. So we're going to be using the solid one today. But this frame is really cool. Ooh, you can like layer them up and do all kinds of wonderful things with these. So, you know, you can make tags out of them even. If you've got another circle, you can layer it behind. You know, this could be quite cool for, you know, gift giving, especially Christmas time. So yeah, really cool stuff. Wanted to show you that. I will also today be using an embossing folder from another suite. It's the Poetry Garden suite. This is I've gone blank. Paradise Garden. Sorry, I knew it was different to poetry. Paradise Garden's hybrid bundle. So it comes with a die set that actually slides inside and dies and embosses, die cuts and embosses at the same time. Today I'm just using the the embossing folder, and we're going to emboss this little guy and create some lovely, lovely texture. So I've already gone ahead and done that so that you're not waiting for me to get that part done. Hi, Simone. Yes, it is a lovely stamp set. I absolutely love it. I started playing with it just a couple of days ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So here is the embossed circle ready to go. And I just love how, like, it's a 3D embossing folder, and it's so easy to see why. The impression is huge. You could do some amazing things with this. So, yeah, so I've got that. Now we're going to use, I've gone ahead and prepared my elements today, and yeah, just so that I'm not keeping you waiting, but if you watch this back and want to craft this project along with me, by all means, you know, once we go through these elements, pause the video and, you know, go and create your elements, and then we can craft together. So I'm just going to use this circle with this lovely outline leafy arrangement. Now here's that ladybug builder section that I was talking to you about. So they layer together to make a cute little bug. I just love them. Hi, Helen. So yeah, so we'll be using these guys, and we're also going to be using another little red flower, and I've just die cut out a little stamen in black to go with that, just to match my ladybug. So those two, and the last ones that I've got prepared are the two outlines of one of the leaves. So as you can see, this is the one that, yeah, creates all the whole, this one that creates all the little, it has all the veins and things. That's what the word I'm looking for. And then, of course, it has a matching little guy who, if you want, you can die cut this out and then in another color and layer it behind. So you've got two-tone. That's what I was sort of mentioned earlier. So there you go. Really lots of fun to have with this set. So I'm just going to put those aside. So I've got two of those as well. Okay, so I'm just going to pop those aside because we'll come back to these guys a bit later. As you can see, I've got my blends, a range of green blends sitting here, and my color lifter. So we're going to be doing some coloring today, because in the stamp set is this gorgeous huge leaf. So I had to use him. And of course, we've got colors to play with too. So first up, I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to be stamping this guy with him straight away. And the other two colors is the Lemon Lime Twist and Real Red. So I'll put those aside because we'll use those later. But let's get started. So now this stamp, it's clear, so I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually quite a fine sort of stamp. It stamps the outline and the veins. So what that means is when we're inking it up, we just want to tap it lightly and it just inks beautifully. We don't want to over ink it if we can. So yeah, so just some light tapping, and you can see now how that has inked up beautifully. So we're just going to stamp this guy here. And I've just given it a bit of time there to transfer the ink through. And what I'm going to do is just give that a moment longer to dry. They usually dry pretty quick, but because we're going to color today, I'm going to give it a little bit longer so that, you know, we make sure that it doesn't bleed with our blends. The Stampin', our classic Stampin' pads are water-based dye ink. So it goes beautifully with Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol markers. So there we go. I'll just give that a clean off because we're going to use him again in a minute. So that should be good to go. Alrighty, so I have 3 pairs of greens and a yellow. So what I'm going to do is going to start with my darkest color, which is Granny Apple Green in the dark. Now the dark of the two, because there's a light and a dark, so the dark of the two is the true color of the ink, and it's what it matches your cardstock. So as you can see, I'm just coloring in the stem, and you can see how that works like that. Alrighty, and now I'm going to go with my lighter shades of soft seafoam. So I've got the light and the dark. I'll start with the light one. I'm going to colour just around the edge and bring it in just like this. And I'm going to be quite... The only precision really in this is just around the edge there. Otherwise, it's quite, you know, freeform. So I'm just going to do this. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to just build that shade up a little bit and sort of go over this little bit. So I've kind of left the tips or around the edge a little bit lighter at this stage. And now I'm going to bring in some yellow. It's kind of the whole, like the theme of this is springtime. So I know we're going into autumn here, but springtime tends to be a time where leaves are still, you know, they're growing in, so they're still a little bit yellow because they haven't had enough sun yet. So I'm just going to blend those two together with some yellow. Now this is Lemon Lolly and it's just the light one. So I wanted to just bring in a little bit of yellow, but not too much. Okay, so this is my dark one. I'm not going to use my dark Granny Apple Green, but I am going to use the light. And then I've also got some Lemon Lime Twist. So what I'm going to do now is use my dark. So I've got I'm using mostly my brush tips on this, for this. And what I'm going to do is come up the center and create some shadows. Sort of some of the darker areas. Now this leaf has a curve in it, so we may even come back and just follow that a little bit more. Okay. So now we've got light around the outside and dark in the middle, and I'm going to use my light and dark Lemon Lime Twist to blend those two together. So I'm going to start with the light one and work from the light side in. So now that it's coloured, we can start to build up on our shading and highlights and things like that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading. that my light one? No, that's the dark one. Okay, I'm going to bring my light one back in and just blend this out a little bit more. Okay. You get the drift. Now, what I might do is just bring my granny apple green back in. That one. They all look the same, don't they? And just create a little bit more shadow down this near the base here. Oh, I just did a little bit outside the line. Oh my gosh, that's okay. Light granny apple green and just blend a little bit away. So it's really it's just quite fun doing that kind of stuff. Now I also have what's called a color lifter. Now a color lifter is kind of a little bit deceiving in, oh, hello, hi Monica, hi Kirsten, hi Norelle. How therapeutic is coloring. Very, very true. I totally agree. Sorry, color lifter, which is the name of it suggests that it takes color away, but in actual fact, what it does is sort of layer clear fluid on top to push the color out. Because it's alcohol, it kind of just moves on the page ever so slightly. And so sometimes when we would like something to shine a little bit or have a little bit of a, you know, a highlight or a sparkly bit where, you know, light's hitting it, as they say, we can use the clear to put some alcohol fluid down onto our color and push it out a little bit, and that gives the appearance of no color. So it's really interesting process once you sort of have fun with the color lifter. We just played with it on stage last week, and it was fun. It was a good reminder. It's like, oh yes. Alrighty, that's what I'm gonna leave it there. Move these guys out of the way. So as you can see, it's all kind of a little bit, you know, mottly. I mean, very rarely does a leaf appear one solid color. So yeah, so that's what we are going to, you know, that's what we're aiming for, isn't it? So now I have the frame, the die frame that matches or coordinates with this shape, and we're going to die cut him out. And through the magic of television, isn't that what they say? I have created one already so that you're not waiting for me to die cut it out. So yeah, so as you can see, this one's a little bit more yellow, and every time, you know, you color the same image, it will never turn out the same. Like the coloring never turns out the same. You always end up with a little bit of variance. It's incredible. So these are all our cute little elements that we will be using to build a card with today. And underneath my die set, I have my card base ready to go. Hi, Lisa. So yes, so I have my card base. I've already prepared it as I usually do, but just in case you're not sure of how to create a card base, we have our A4 cardstock that we cut in half, and then we score and fold in half. So really, really fun stuff. Sorry, easy stuff. Creating cards is fun, but anyway. So what I wanted to just mention, you'll see how the card is sort of popping up like that. So to make it easier, we're going to use our bone folder and crisp up our score line, just like that. And now it sits flat. We've got a great little work surface to work with. So what's next? Shall I keep you in suspense? I'm going to bring this guy back in, our little leaf, and our lemon lime twist ink, and which obviously matches our cardstock. So it's going to be tone on tone stamping here. And we're going to create a fun little background. Okay, so let me move some of these guys out the way because I can just see myself sending them flying. Okay, I'm going to put this over here, and what I'm going to do is bring in my circle. So today I'm creating a landscape card, so one with the fold at the top, and we are going to, which way? It doesn't really matter. It's going to sit roughly about here. Okay, and I'm going to use this as a guide to help me stamp my leaves because I want them in a certain pattern. So let's do this. I'm going to pop him here. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm going to stamp like this. And I'm going to bring this guy around like this. And I'm going to do another one over here. Yeah, I can't decide. Okay. He's going to go like that. And then I'm going to do another one. You can sort of see where I'm going with this now. Kind of like that. Alrighty. So now we've got this little gap here. I'm going to pop this guy in here like that, but I don't think we're going to see him. Alrighty. So that kind of, that's going to work like that. So there you go. I know it's interesting how something can look. So you kind of look at that and go, oh my gosh, it looks terrible. But then when you start to build things, all of a sudden it comes to life, doesn't it? So yes. Alrighty. So this guy is going to go on first. We're going to stick him down straight in the middle like that and start to build up our elements from there. I'm going to use a little bit of green glue, our green glue, which is always a fun one. Alrighty, where am I? I'm going to use it somewhere. I'm going to pop him here. Give him a second. Okay. Now I'm going to put my leaf on. So what I'm going to do, he's going to sit somewhere like here. But what I'm going to do, I kind of want him to sit up a little bit. So I'm going to use a bit of liquid glue here. Okay, I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit because I put on a bit more than I would have liked. And then we're also going to use a dimensional, maybe two. So let's see, I'm going to pop one here. Ooh. And one down here. So I'm going to leave this tip section free because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop something under there later. So what we've got, he's going to go somewhere about here. Be a nice little landing for our ladybug. Okay. Now I've got sticky tips because I put too much glue on. Alrighty, so I've just seen your green hearts, Monica. Yes, we love them. We love the green glue. Okay, so what we're going to do next, now you might have noticed that I've popped this guy, the stem of the leaf, almost right up to the very edge. There's a reason for that, and I'll show you. I'll show you that. Okay. Oh, I almost lost the leaf. Alrighty, so it's because of this guy. We're going to layer him over, and I want to, he's going to go over like this. So I wanted that stem to come into this little section where the cluster of line art sort of is happening here. So yeah, that's really, I think it's pretty cool. I like the way it they work together like that. So what we want to do here is just ever so lightly, hope this is coming through, is pop a very, very thin little dots or little lines of glue. What did we hear last week? Dot, 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 not a lot. We were talking about that. Some of my stamping friends. Alrighty, so a little thin line of glue around the edge, and that's just, you know why, that's just so that we don't have glue seeping out and going absolutely everywhere. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort of layer it so that I kind of hook my circle onto the white, my green circle onto the white, but I'm sort of paying attention to where my elements are so that they sit roughly in that location. There we go. Okay. He's sitting in there just nicely. All right. Okay. Next up is our little elements. We're going to start to put these guys together. That die is very pretty, Lisa. You're right. I loved it too. All right, we're going to use some liquid glue for these guys. And again, same thing, just little bits. And we're going to lay them together. You might want to, I'm going to pick him up just to make sure they're sitting exactly on top of each other. Alrighty, so that's those two. And then I'm going to pop just a little dab there and use my guy here and push that in. Alrighty, he will dry clear, so that's all good. Next, I am going to pop my leaves together to make one element. What I mean by that is sometimes, like when you can stick them on one at a time, but sometimes I often teach my class ladies to create a cluster, and then you can by doing making a cluster and adhering that onto your project together allows you to look at the space that it takes up as a whole. It's one element. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of, rather than, you know, sort of two, and then you'll be like, oh, I wish I, you know, I wish I sort of had to put it there, or, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah. Alrighty, so I'm just going to use some glue dots. So I'm going to pick him up and I'm going to stick these two guys together. Alrighty, so I want those two to sit together like that. And then I'm going to use another glue dot and pick them up, and then I can pop them down together. So then I'm going to have these guys sitting out here. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Alrighty, now it is time to pop on our little red elements. So I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do a dimensional for my flower, but I'm going to pop him on flat because he's sitting on top of the leaf, which has dimensional. So we'll just pop him on like this. He's so cute. That's beautiful. Alrighty, and now I will, I might actually use a mini dimensional. Yes. Now, before I stick him on, what I'm going to do is just curl up my leaves a little bit, sorry, my petals, so that they have a little bit of a three-dimensional feel about them. And I'm going to pop them where all the line work from the line art from that is all meeting. And what that does is just help separate the art. So there you go. It's cute. Cute. Alrighty. So now we need to add a sentiment. We don't need to, but we're going to. Alright, so I'm going to use a little strip. And I'm using one out of the die set. So there's quite a few in here they're quite cool. You know, you can adapt them, nothing specific, but you can adapt them to many different occasions. So today I am going to use the Celebrate New Beginnings. Kind of matches with that spring theme, doesn't it? Now what I'm going to do is have my chamois ready to go, because we all cringe when we have to put our polymer stamps, new polymer stamps, into red ink, don't we? But what I've worked out is if you clean them quickly, it takes longer for them to actually stain. So you can keep them from staining quite... sorry, I'm concentrating on inking now. You can keep them from staining for quite some time. Alrighty, so I'm going to pop him down here. So gentle inking, because it is a very fine stamp, as you can see. And then we're going to clean him straight away and give him a good rub. And it's not too bad. It's starting to stain, but it's not so bad. At least that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Alrighty, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move my stamp out of the way. I'm going to trim down my sentiment. So you can see that. Ooh, alrighty. So I'm going to just chop it off there. Now, I want to make it a thin little banner. So if you've got a banner die, you can do that. Use one of those. I'm just going to free cut it today. Alrighty, I'll go with that. I'm going to trim this side down a little as well. Okay. So now I'm just going to pop a flag into this end, and then I'm going to tuck it in under here. So I've left this side a little bit long just so that I can work out, you know, how far under I can tuck it. And that was why I also put my dimensionals a little bit further back so that I had room for my sentiment. But yeah, just so that it just gives, the length here just gives a little bit of play so that I know where to, so that I don't have any gaps. So let's see, I'm going to cut just a little flag, corner up to the top of the snip, and then the opposite. There we go. Cool, so that's going to work like that. Now I might just snip it down a little, just so that my sentiment hugs the curve of the leaf a little bit closer. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Alrighty, dimensionals. I moved them and now I've lost them. Oh, under my ink pad. Nope, they're not the ones I'm looking for. I wanted my bigger ones. There they are, on the other side. Alrighty, 2 of those. 1 and 2. Watch these end up in the kitchen later on. Okay, so we're going to pop him in there just like that. Hopefully it's straight. I haven't got my head over my project today. All right, so nice little, cute little ladybug just there. Now, what I just had another thought. So when I was punching out my ladybug, you get these tiny 3 little circles that pop out. And so I kept them because I thought, you know what, we could pop them on like little sort of, like little gems or little embellishments. But yeah, so I thought that could be fun, especially if you yeah, especially if you wanted a red one to match. So I'm just going to do tiny, tiny little dot. I'm going to use my big one down here. And then I'm going to put another one here. And do this guy. Now I've got some black cardstock stuck to him. All right, let's pick him up again. Oh, got stuck under my, okay, there we go. And then we might put the other one up here. I'm just using tiny bits of glue just so it doesn't go everywhere. Now let's see which way. Yep, that way. Let me pick him up with just a little bit of putty. All right, that's better. They will dry. Awesome. What a cute little project. Free accents. Yes, we do like free accents. So yeah, there you go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that little craft project today, and I hope that inspires your crafting this weekend. I will pop a link in so that we can, download this video, and it'll be available on YouTube later on. So we can come back to this project later on when we are looking for some inspiration. Anyway, I hope this has inspired you to craft this weekend. Pick up those stamps and create something beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. And and I will catch you again soon. Bye-bye.